Friday! And as you may or may not know, we don't have classes on Friday. Today was super productive. I woke up this morning, had breakfast, took a math exam, got back, did my laundry. I arranged to get my history book and stuff on tape so I could actually keep up with the course. Then I came back and cleaned my room and had enough time to put all of this tape on the walls. Now my posters won't fall anymore. Hope they don't fall anymore. My roommate and I agree that if our posters keep falling, we are losing confidence in the abilities of duct tape. So I went around town and I took a bunch of pictures that I thought were pretty interesting. This is a fish mailbox, and I took a picture of the outside of the theater. Because I wasn't able to see the movie on the 9th, I saw the short on the 9th, and because I knew what was going to happen in the short, I knew it was ultimately going to happen in the movie. I really love the scene where 9 comes to life. I think it's animated really well, because even though he very quickly gains control over his body, there is the baby step element of gauging how heavy his body is and how he needs to move. I think that was probably my favorite, just 9 getting his bearings. The burlap-looking skin cloth thing that they were all made out of I really liked it as a material, and it was in the original, and so I'm glad that they kept it. But the way it was rigged is kind of unconvincing. I would have rather it looked more mechanical, as though there were actually their face underneath the cloth, as opposed to the cloth that's just magically moving. The fluidity, I think, took away from it because they are made out of burlap, and it's very easy to see the grain of that cloth, and you're able to see that the cloth kind of moves of its own volition, as opposed to actually having some mechanical correspondence. Outside the Beast's cave, that fabric was pretty awesome. John would love this, wouldn't he? Has a unicorn as their logo. Just look at all those colors. They're just a rainbow of possibilities. There's a lot of graffiti around. Mom took a picture of me on my bed when we first moved in. This is me first moving in. This is when I wasn't driving. I did get to drive on really windy roads, so I had the most exciting time of it. My family saw us off. They all ran down the driveway and waved. Is this my voice? Is this my voice? Oh well.
Yeah.
No. I also want to know how Kosher came up with that nickname. Does Kosher keep kosher? I have 2 teachers that are of the opinion that they are the most important class and that any other time I spend in other classes is time that I'm not spending in their class. Luckily, my art history teacher understands that I also have other classes. Then again, I read at a snail's pace. Why do I like the Klingon thing so much? Klingon. What do Klingons say? Actually, you know what? I think we have to read this. This is hard. I don't want to be a Klingon anymore. Like, the composer? I didn't know Bach was a verb. Okay, I'm putting this back. I'm kind of overwhelmed. So yesterday I spent all day walking around and getting art supplies because I don't have a class in the afternoon on Wednesdays. And that was really, really tiring. At this point, I was carrying this, as well as a bag of stuff that was out to like here, and then balancing all this while giving them more supplies, particularly long supplies like this. I was tired. By the time I got back to the room, I realized I was dehydrated because my hands were shaking. So I made myself a nice cup of tea and got started on my homework. Nert, you remember how you commented on my incompetence to actually be able to speak English? And in my semi-joking kind of defense, I said that I'm an art student and spend all day making color wheels and don't have time to learn the difference between animosity and anonymity. Well, I wasn't entirely lying. You would think that you can just go get red paint, squeeze it out, and then paint it, except that my color theory teacher knows what red looks like, and she knows that red doesn't look like what you first squeeze out of the tube. So last night I was crouched over my desk with a very sore back, trying to mix the perfect red. These are some of the tertiary and secondary colors. The oranges I did an okay job on. These are a little too similar. Everything is mirrored. I also kind of see myself as a much more loud and obnoxious person here, probably because it's such a loud and obnoxious atmosphere. When I get excited, I get kind of loud and obnoxious. But I seem to be kind of loud and obnoxious all the time, even though I'm not really particularly excited. I mean, there's always people outside in the courtyard gallivanting, and it's not that everyone is happy and loud all the time, it's just that there are enough happy and loud people all the time that it seems as though everyone is loud and happy all the time. And you can't be loud and happy all the time. You'll go insane. Everyone's always happy, but everyone's always tired. There is absolutely no privacy. Sometimes I just need a quiet place. And right now I don't see any. A comment on the attendance policy. Being studio classes, each class lasts 2.5 hours. And because classes are so long, you only have 4 absences before you automatically fail. I didn't take my vitamins today. This is how awesome I am. I can't swallow pills, and I don't like taking medicine, so these are my vitamins. I am a small child. I like the yellow ones. It's very strange because usually I'm, like, the art kid. Most of or all of the stereotypes that usually apply to me aren't significant anymore. It's awesome to be around people who have common interests with you and are also very creative and interesting. It's also kind of weird. I was walking by some other freshmen yesterday, and someone randomly shouts out, "Look at the sky, the lighting is awesome!" And everyone looked, and no one thought it was weird, and then they kind of murmured comments of, "Yes, it is quite lovely. I think I will paint it." Or, "Let me get my camera." For one of the people that I met over the summer, it turns out he's a blender whiz, and he had a job where he, did advertising. Squee in your pants. Never underestimate the power of the flamel. So many people like my shirt. Since DEFCON 5 asks questions and 4 shows and tells, I think I need to do something. And it seems only appropriate that my something should be tips for getting through college. Tip 1. You don't need a TV. My roommate had this on while she was playing World of Warcraft. It was kind of annoying, especially because most of TV is super annoying. And I was going to ask her to turn it off until South Park came on. And then I decided against it, because I kind of wanted to see South Park. College tip number 2. Make sure you have enough storage. That thing? I seriously don't know of anyone that doesn't have one. They're kind of useful. Number 3, beware of falling posters. There's something about these walls that posters just don't like to stick to. I mean, even Rorschach fell recently. Of course, printer paper always sticks very well. These are one of my roommate's posters. Avenue Q, Harry Potter, Wicked, and V for Vendetta. They're pretty awesome. They too have fallen, and she had to go get a new frame for one because the plastic shattered. Also, whatever you do, don't forget your ID! I keep forgetting my ID places. You can't eat food, you can't go to class, you can't go into your room to sleep. You can't go to the bathroom if you don't have your ID. That's how bad that is. So when you go out to a strange place, usually you like to hang on to things that are familiar. And I found over the summer that I kept using phrases that normally I don't like and I don't use. Over the summer I kept saying creeper. I don't know why, because I think it's stupid. But I kept using it because it was familiar. And it reminded me of home in some remote way. In drawing, we don't technically have homework, but we do have to finish pieces outside of class. Our drawing teacher likes to set aside the time to come in around 7 and later. I got blue charcoal in my nose. Thought you ought to know. So when I went to work on my drawing last night, I asked my professor to come look at it to see if it was okay. So my professor was working on this website and had all the different companies listed and wanted me to look at all of them because he was working on it really hard and he was very proud of it. And he told me that I could go look at it in my free time. You have to understand that this is a teacher who doesn't like us to have free time. So I was striving to point out the fact that we don't have any free time because he doesn't want us to, in the following way. It went something like this. So you should really check out this website, it's very good. I will do that, in my copious free time. For I said copious free time, and I love you for teaching me that phrase.